discussion on Ladakh. Just a quick word about Viraf, so that some context is there. His father became a member of the Himalayan Club in 1953. That's a long time back. I would imagine he would possibly be one of the most senior-most members of the Himalayan Club, and has played a big role in the club over the years. Viraf has been a long-standing member himself. In today's talk, I'm not really, the Himalayan Club, we meet a lot of people who are in the outdoors, but somebody who's done 35 trips to one area is sort of unique. Viraf spends nearly 3 months every year in Ladakh. And what has taken him there in the last few years is his kind of project on rock art. And he's been trying to go to various sites in Ladakh, and sort of that has helped him get to some remote areas as well. He's been getting permissions to go there. So when the idea came up of Viraf sharing his thoughts, we said, why don't we go beyond the rock art aspect which he's working on, and carrying a reservoir of information on places which are really off the tourist circuit. You would not have heard some of these names itself. Many areas are in border areas which are highly restricted. Some places are where there's recent skirmishes which are going on, like Chumur and Demchok. So that was the thought process today, that we will request Viraf to talk about rock art, but sort of move on to some interesting places, things which would be of interest to people. Unfortunately, most of us who go to Ladakh, including myself, we do the regular Pangong, Nubra, and that kind of things. A lot of people have done Khardungla Pass, but there's a lot more to Ladakh than all that. So I'm going to now request Viraf to start off and just give a little background about rock art, and then start.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation and the introduction, and thank you for being here. Just by way of, before I start speaking or presenting to you something about Ladakh, how many of us, can I just have a show of hands, have been to Ladakh? Oh, that's good. That's good. But there are quite a few people who haven't been, and I hope that those hands will go up next time around. I'm off to Leh on the 17th of October for about 3 weeks in connection with the work that you've heard about. But just to start off and tell you what to expect in these next several minutes together. Yes, it's true, I've been going to Ladakh a lot, and I spend now 3 months a year there. I hope that will increase in the days to come. But I didn't go there initially just to look for rock art. I've been in the Himalayas ever since my childhood days, and these 30-odd trips to Ladakh now. What I'm going to do, Maninda requested me not to talk about rock art. I do prehistoric rock art presentations, which takes you through a journey of how we explore the boundaries of prehistory through the first signs of human culture all over the world, and Ladakh is no exception. So it's rock art that really took me to these places. But for the purposes of today's presentation, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is focus on 2 parts of Ladakh, the Nubra Valley, right up north, and Changthang, right in the southeast. The Nubra Valley, as you know, borders Pakistan and China, Tibet, and also the gateway to Central Asia. And the Changthang borders on, again, on certain Indian states like Spiti, but also in Tibet to the east. And the reason I picked these 2 is because they're well visited, but there are still a number of places, unfortunately, that are hard to access. So what you're going to see now is very, very little text. There are about 4 or 5 slides with some text, but the bulk of the presentation are just visuals of different places, and I'll try and make each of those slides count as I share them with you. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. The rock art of Ladakh, without going into any technical detail, ladies and gentlemen, you can see. The big surprise here is that people discounted Ladakh. It's too high, too remote. People wouldn't have been there in the olden days, and certainly would not have produced rock art. There may be some peripheral material there. Our researchers have shown that, in fact, the Indus River, after which our country is named, is one of the richest riverine rock art systems in the entire country. And just for example, you have a whole spread on the last line, just because I'll be using the word historic and prehistoric quite a lot. By historic, I mean the beginning of writing in the Tibetan script in the 7th century AD, and the Tibetan people coming and moving into Ladakh around the 7th century. The period that I'm looking at is attempting to trace back and give Ladakh a sense of history of 5,000 years prior to this new millennium. And this means it's an incredible thing that we are involved with, because it brings you for the first time going back in time 1,000 generations, when there is a blank page right now about that period in time.